Hey, welcome to the first edition of How to Blog Like. Today we're going to check out Nicolette Mason's blog and social media to see if there's anything that she's doing that we should be doing on our blogs. So stick with me while I check out her blog, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and the new Premme launched website and see if we can get some tips from one of the best.
We got a summer of the kind of movie love, all in for some more of anything that comes along, forever high above the kind of...
This is nicolettemason.com. So I've talked about this a little bit on my blog and how if you're really struggling to find a name for your blog and everything seems to be taken and you just can't seem to find a name that you like that's available, then just go with your name because it will be unique to you, especially if you've got a nickname or a middle initial or something like that. And it's always going to be relevant. So if the type of blogging that you're doing changes over time, you can change with it because your blog is literally you. If you take a bit of a look at Nicolette's blog, I've scrolled down a little, but it looks like it's still hosted with Blogger. So forget everything you knew about having to self-host and build a website and all this other stuff to be really successful. Because from what I can see, this blog lives on Blogger, and let's face it, it's one of the biggest blogs, especially for plus fashion and lifestyle in the world. I love this because it's a really simple layout. And now my screen is quite huge, right? So you've still got the content really focused in the center of the screen. You've got quite a clear header up here. And then about, frequently asked questions, press, and shop. Straight away here, we've got the first blog post that's current. I believe that's the full length post. I don't think that Nicolette actually crops her posts. So you get the full post up front. So that's it there. For the next one and the next one. Another thing that I love is Nicolette's sidebar is quite clean and tidy. There's not a lot going on there. And my favorite part is always having these category blog topics in images that people can click on to find their way. These are great. The social media links out. You should always have those. And this here... there are various points that are clickable. This is a really simple, super effective, easy to navigate way to operate a website. Okay, so if you're going to be like Nicolette, the things to take out of this is keep it simple, make your content the focus, and make it easy for people through your sidebar, through your menu to navigate your blog. Okay, so I've brought you over to Instagram now. To check out how Nicolette runs her feed, take some tips away from what she's doing. And as you can see here on the screen, we're quite focused on her current launch of the Premme range. Obviously, all of these images right down to here are based on that launch, around that launch, promoting that launch. So while it's actually quite in line with Nicolette's usual aesthetic, it definitely has more, similarities to each post than it normally would. So you can see here, this is Nicolette's normal feed. So you get a little more variation here. So we've got photos with friends. I might just bring this up a couple of clicks. Just give me a moment. Okay. So as you can see here, we've got photos with friends crossed with a couple of detailed pictures, outfit, pet, then we have friends and launches. So you can really see here when you take a look at Nicolette's feed that they all have a similar feel about them without being really specific and hard in on a theme. So they're predominantly light and bright photos, usually with some kind of a pink edge to them. But that's just, dude lives in pink a lot of the way. If you know Nicolette's blog, you'll know that. So yeah, you can start to see how she incorporates these really beautiful images from her blog with more day-to-day, here's what I'm doing, check me out on a mountain, isn't this cute, I saw it, sort of content. So for me, that's a really great example for how you can make an interesting but still cohesive feed. Okay, so take a look at these things and start to think to yourself, okay, what are the things that I'm eating that look good that I can share? What are the things that I'm doing with friends that would be interesting to be photographed? Do I walk past things every day and, that are beautiful that I'm missing that I could be incorporating in my feed? When people say to me that they find it really difficult to curate or fill an Instagram feed, I'm basically like, you're either trying to post too many images per day, or you're really just not looking hard enough. If I can fill a feed with things that are interesting and engaging, then you can do the same. You just got to start to hone your eye and take those photos when you see them, stockpile them, give them a bit of an edit, and then work back. We're going to move over to Twitter now. This is somewhere else that I follow along with what Nicolette is up to and how I follow if there's a new post or a new launch or something like that happening. So Nicolette's pretty active on Twitter, but more in a conversational kind of way. So you're never going to end up with a feed full of, here's my post, here's my Instagram, go like my stuff. She appears to be in conversation with people, and it's interesting to watch. She curates a pretty great feed here as well. And the best way to do that on Twitter is by interacting with people, informing yourself on current issues, whether it be in the plus size fashion and lifestyle realm, or whether it just be about life issues, and just participating in these conversations. So that's pretty much a tip across the board for Twitter. Okay, pretty much second to last, we're checking out Nicolette's Facebook page. So right now we've come through the blog, we've come through Instagram and Twitter, and now we're on Facebook. So as you can see, again, we're pretty focused on the Premme launch here. The cover image and the profile photo are focused on that. Okay, as you can see, so we have a little bit of video content. Again, we're sharing the Premme launch, which is her blog post to that YouTube video. Again, take advantage of live if you've got something to say. Get really comfortable on live, because even if no one's watching, you're getting comfortable being in front of a camera. Now, if someone had said that to me 5 years ago, I probably wouldn't have listened. But I tell you what, it would have been easier to be in front of a camera now if I had 5 years worth of practice while no one was watching. Use it to record updates or vlog or whatever else you want to do. So if you come to Nicolette's page here, this is really, like I said, Instagram and Twitter seem to be the main places that you can see Nicolette interacting. Now, for me, this isn't a terrible Facebook page at all, in terms of, even though the content is very directed at sharing off the site sort of updates. So YouTube, sharing to the blog, and those sort of things. So sharing to a different page. When you're starting out, Facebook just isn't going to give you the reach on those sort of posts if you don't have the followers, because as far as Facebook is concerned, if you can keep people on Facebook longer, you'll be rewarded for that. So when you're Nicolette Mason and you've got 50,000 fans on Facebook, you can definitely get away with that in terms of just sending those posts out there. But realistically, even she's not really getting away with it. Sorry, Nicolette, but you're not. Because with 50,000, this reach is pretty terrible in terms of that sort of stuff. And that happens because if you don't actually have a specific content strategy for Facebook where you're encouraging people to interact and participate and be on your page, then sooner or later Facebook is just like, well, you're not even trying. And I'm not saying Nicolette isn't trying, but I'm saying compared to Instagram and compared to Twitter, this definitely is one of those platforms that is a little bit sort of undermanaged. And now, because the launch has just happened, I've come on over to Premme. So this is the new business that Nicolette has started with Gabby. And obviously they're selling plus size fashion. Everyone I've spoken to, like everyone, wanted pieces from this range. Obviously, the shipping to the Australian addresses was a bit of a complication. Some of the ladies have used on-forwarders. Australia Post apparently does a forwarding thing. Very exciting. But for me, I'm just like, just send it to me. So I haven't ended up purchasing anything at this point, even though that jacket just calls to me, that denim jacket. Anyway, so this is the shop. As you can see, again, it's a really simple layout. This little looped video here is super cute because it gives you the whole vibe of the brand all in one place. Very simple, short clip. It really didn't take long to load at all, which is super important. And it's a bit of an intro that, for me, you just can't beat this as an intro to the brand and as an intro to a shop. It's pretty cool. Actually, it kind of looks like a blog, so if you want to rip that off for your blog, you totally could. Okay, team, so I hope you enjoyed that look through Nicolette's blog, Nicolette's blog, and social media channels. Now, for me, this is wrapped up in 5 main points. How to blog like Nicolette. So number 1 is be yourself. Nicolette's not afraid to stand up for what she believes in, stand for an issue, or just go against the crowd and, show up as herself. That's the number 1 tip for any blogger, but Nicolette does this better than most. Following on from tip 1, number 2 is write about things that matter to you. Let's face it, too many bloggers these days are so worried about stuffing up a brand relationship that they just won't say what they mean. It was about 5 years ago now that bloggers stopped swearing on their blogs to make them more marketable. And great, if that's your thing, then do it. I know for me, on YouTube, this is a place where I'm trying not to, have a complete potty mouth. Great deal. But the thing is, if you're adapting your content to fit someone else's idea of what a blogger should look like, then you're doing it wrong. Point 3 is a little less serious than points 1 and 2. It's pick a signature color. Something that runs across Nicolette's social media channels is her love for the color pink. So don't be afraid to pick a signature color and use it as part of your branding. It can be a little overwhelming to, these days blogging, because you've got Instagram, you've got Facebook, you've got the blog, you've got all the other channels to promote it. But the thing is, and this is point 4, is do like Nicolette does, pick your channels and really show up there. There's no need to stuff around on places that your audience isn't going to be. So find the channels that you love, show up there, and your readers will be there too. Okay, tip number 5, and this is something that Nicolette has always done. We may not have seen a lot of it today because she's promoting predominantly her own brand, but something she's always done the whole way through is only ever worked with brands that she loves. So if you're starting out, that's not really going to be a big consideration for you because, well, no one really wants to work with you yet. But as you go along, you just can't say yes to everything. You have to say yes to the things that are important to you, that matter to you, and really fit in with your own personal brand. It's why I don't encourage people to go full-time or even part-time too soon. Because if you're desperate for money, it shows. Okay, team, so that was my first ever episode of How to Blog Like. So if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to give it the thumbs up. Apparently that's important on YouTube and I just got on board. So go like the video, make sure you like all my old videos, and let's just have a like party. If you've got a suggestion for who I should be checking out next, then, leave it in the comments below. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do so. I'm releasing videos every week and I'm doing my very best to chuck in a bonus one every now and again. So now would be a good time to be subscribed.
The world, blue skies and night swings, never keeping track of time.